In the last couple of videos, we talked about some of the people involved in the school, and you have been learning who you might need to turn to and the sorts of things that you will need to learn at the start of your journey. A big part of learning in the job is also about finding information for yourself or knowing where to look. As mentioned previously, a good place to start with regard to school information is in the school handbook. With regard to students, you will need to find out about and use your school's management information system. This system should include information such as student timetables and maybe contact details. Make sure that you are nice to the school's IT team, as you will find that at times you need their help, particularly if you are prone to forgetting your passwords. You may want to look at student files in more detail. These are hard copy and there is a procedure for looking at them, so get to know the admin team and make sure that you know what you need to do to get that information. You will also need the admin team's help in ensuring that you know things about yourself, such as your job description, what your contract says, and information on such things as pay. Knowing your job description is vital, and whilst it is okay to go above and beyond, it is important that while you are developing, you understand what is required of you, and you put the majority of your focus on that aspect of your job. It is easy to let your enthusiasm land you with so much extra work that you become burned out, so learn to say no at the right times. Knowing what is expected of you will be helpful to you in this regard. It is great to take on extra work and responsibilities, but ensure that you are able to cope with the workload before you do. Most staff rooms are going to have a notice board. This is going to be a good source of social information, such as staff get-togethers, sports sessions, or even big events. This is a great place to look to enable you to interact with other staff. You are also likely to have a personal pigeonhole for your post. Make sure that you keep an eye on this and follow up any posts that you receive. You will have an email and possibly other forms of contact such as apps like Trello, Slack, or even WhatsApp. Make sure you know what is being used, keep an eye on them and check them at regular periods throughout the day. It would be a shame to miss out on CPD or an opportunity because you didn't keep up with the communications you are receiving. It is also important to have a cut-off time where you stop looking at your email because it becomes quite habit-forming and it won't do you any good to become obsessive about constantly checking at all times of the day and night. If you think about it, no one wants to receive an email at 8 o'clock at night telling them something unless it's critical. So you should have that etiquette yourself and make sure that you're not sending emails to people at 8 o'clock at night unless you've asked in advance about it. Let's say you want someone to check your lesson plan, etc. Try and keep this around the outskirts of working hours so it doesn't become a nuisance or distraction to others. Most of the time you're going to be involved in meetings in school. Maybe there will be departmental meetings once or twice a week where you'll actually go and be updated within what's going off in your department. And then there might be whole school meetings about specifics or school briefings where they're going to give you a 15 to 20 minute introduction to every single thing that you need to know for that week. Keep a diary of what meetings you need to go to and keep notes about what has been said. Sometimes you will get minutes, but for briefings it is good to keep your own notes, as sometimes you will be told to look out for something in your email or on a notice board, and it is easy to forget. You will also need to make amendments to your own plans as a result of what you have heard. So think, does this affect me or my students? For example, a morning trip to the nature reserve may impact on your lessons directly or give you opportunity to link to afternoon learning. It may also mean that you need to be calming with a child who might have been overstimulated. There's also something that's quite critical, which I probably should have covered first because it might be either the love of your life or the bane of your life, and this is the cover board. Depending on how your school does cover, it might be electronic. There are a lot of TAs in school who cover for absences, and a decision to use you could impact on what you had planned. But it is an essential part of school life, so keep an eye out for it and think about what you need to do to prepare if you are on it. Whilst as a teaching assistant you shouldn't be covering for teachers, you might find that the teacher you are working with is being covered or that you need to help out in a different class. This will require you to liaise and find out what you need to do or help a teacher in advance with students they are unfamiliar with. Thank you. I'll see you in the next module.